One of the biggest mistakes I notice with rookies, even some experienced salespeople, is they think they have to push product. And what I try to convince them to do is really make it about the client and the client's needs. Again, the biggest problem I see with even experienced salespeople, they've never been taught consultative selling. They've been taught to push product of the month, product of the quarter, whatever it is. And the challenge they run into is if they're trying to push a particular product, but their client has no need for that product, nothing happens. There's no transaction. There's no sale. So when I talk with them about consultative selling and asking questions and probing and really getting an understanding for what the clients need, now they're providing a solution. Imagine if you went to the doctor. You have not even spoken to the doctor yet about what ails you or what your challenges are or why you're there. And the doctor says, hey, by the way, thanks for coming in. I've got these great pills that just came in. I want you to take 3 of these a day. And you'd be thinking, wait a minute, you haven't even found out what ails me or why I'm here. I could have a sore knee, I could have a bad throat, whatever it is. It's similar to consultative selling. For the sales reps that don't think about consultative selling, all they're thinking about is pushing products, selling something to meet their quota. They're missing the mark when they call on a prospect. Because just like that doctor hasn't probed yet to find out what the challenges are, a good sales rep, an experienced sales rep who's trained in consultative selling will ask questions first. What are your challenges? What are your goals? What's getting in the way of you being successful? And now as they listen and they probe, now they can provide a solution, just as a doctor can. When I have folks call me and say, Neil, I really want to learn about consultative selling and how I can really master this so that I can grow relationships, bring in more sales, and have more fun doing it. What do I need is what they ask. I teach them to be curious and learn, make a list of questions, for example, that they make almost like a recipe for success. A list of questions that they ask every single time. Tell me about your business. What are the challenges you're facing? What are your big goals? Tell me where you are, how long you've been doing this, and if we could project 3 years out, what do you see your business looking like? That gets the conversation going. And of course, the 80-20 rule ties into really the customer or the prospect should be talking 80% of the time. 80% of the time. And we're listening, asking a few questions, dotting them in here and there, but only for about 20%. So the challenge most folks face is, in terms of sales, is they are so used to talking that most of them talk about 85% of the time. And it should be just the opposite. They should ask questions that really pique the prospect or the customer's interest in telling them more. Again, it's like the visit with the doctor. How much can he learn? He or she can only learn by asking you questions about you and what your challenges are and what your long-term goals are. It's really that simple. So people ask, well, Neil, what questions would I ask? They're questions to really learn more about your client, their business, their goals, some of the biggest challenges they face right now, and where they'd like to take their business. So just with me saying that, can't you think of some of the questions you want to ask? Tell me about your challenges. What are your goals? What's your target market right now? What's getting in the way of you being successful? Just a list of questions that's really conversational. If I could rename consultative selling, it would be business conversations to have with your clients, because that's really what it is. So another question a lot of folks ask is, Neil, how do I build rapport? Again, it ties back into asking good questions. Now, there's another part of this when it comes to building rapport. Not only do you need to ask good questions, you also have to show that you're listening. So it's okay to say, Betty, tell me more about that, to probe, to get a little more deeper. And do you mind if I take notes? Because what the listener is getting out of this is your client, your prospect, or whatever you want to call them. They will observe if you're really paying attention or you're simply trying to plug in a product right away. And you can't provide a product right away until you have a thorough understanding. So again, if you listen, and I want you to think about this, write this down. Write the word listen, L-I-S-T-E-N, and write the word silent, S-I-L-E-N-T. Same 6 letters are in each word. They're just rearranged. And we cannot listen unless we're silent. So one of the biggest problems I see sales reps do is, again, they want to talk, talk, talk. This is their time to really buckle down and listen to understand completely. They want to listen to understand completely. This is, in a sense, like dating. You want to just ease into it and have really good conversations. As you do, you'll develop that rapport. And when there's rapport, then there's trust. And when there's trust, there's confidence in you. And without it, there will be no sale or very, very few sales. So it's really important to develop that rapport with a list of questions that dive deeply and give you a thorough understanding of them and let them see how you are as a listener. That's how you develop really good, solid rapport. And then eventually you get around to, what will it take for you to do business with us? What would it take? One of the most important aspects of consultative selling is discovery. Asking the right questions, as we talked about, to really learn about their needs. After you feel like you've learned enough, now it's your turn to present. Just as the doctor would present the medicine to you based on your needs, this is your time to use examples of how you've used these solutions before with other clients that had a similar challenge. Because when you provide a specific solution, what it shows the listener, in this case your client, is that you were really listening and providing exactly the solution they need based on their needs. That's the difference when it comes to giving a good presentation at the end. So you've just heard a high-level discussion about consultative selling, and it's important, as we talked about, to probe and ask questions and really get to know the client. There are other two aspects to this that are really key, and that's listening and presentation skills. And in the next two videos, that's exactly what we will talk about, listening and presentation skills.